It was Tuesday, September 12th, 2017, the kickoff meeting for the new semester of my club, Code@IU. To introduce the new cohort, we wanted to get them to a hello world in Python on day one. I still remember the slides. Downloading Python 3.7. Mac users on the left side of the classroom, Windows users on the right. For Mac users, it seemed pretty easy. You just run a brew command, sit back and relax and watch your Windows colleagues struggle. And Windows users, you needed to download an executable in python.org, go through the installation instructions, and be sure to set up particular configurations with the path, pip, and environment variables. But I narrowed that down to an 8-step process, and I was sure that it would go smoothly. And as 44 new members walked through those doors at 5:30 p.m., I was in for a stressful 90 minutes. And if you ever set up a coding environment before, you know what's about to happen next. Of course, new coders didn't have Homebrew installed. People with 32-bit PCs downloaded the 64-bit version. The semicolon notation on environment variables was confusing, and many snowflake mysteries just went unsolved. What was my vision of bringing a romantic aha moment to a group of ambitious, non-technical college students turned into an intimidation of what's to come, an ominous to be continued. And for so many students, that dissuaded them. We started that meeting with 44 students, and we began next week's with 22, a 50% dropout in week one. I can honestly say that September 12, 2017 was the first time I ever truly tried teaching, and it was one of my greater failures. I think about that moment a lot. Where did I go wrong? Did technology fail us? Could one bad day of instruction discourage a student for a lifetime? I wonder how many other educators think about this, and I wonder how many times Replit prevented this questioning. Hi there, my name is Ben Wallace, and my dream job is to be on the Replit product team. A little bit about myself. I'm from Pittsburgh, PA, then went to Indiana University to study business, computer science, and sustainability. In all that, I respectively learned the value of accounting, the beauty of efficiency and logic, and the importance of the scientific method. But my favorite part of college was creating and running Code@IU, a club that was all about teaching the fundamentals of coding to non-computer science students, where we quickly realized that starting was less about the code and more about the setup. More on that later. After college, my two passions of teaching and technology admittedly split off. I became a camp counselor, a basketball coach, and a high school STEM guide, where I realized that I'm kind of good with kids. We watch the same YouTubers. My friend and I also started Pick 6, a packaged curriculum revolving around a cube with a Raspberry Pi in it. And when you turn the cube, it triggers a script built by the student, teaching them about both hardware and software. Professionally, I jumped into the SaaS world, joining Salesforce and doing various IT-related work like Python scripting and database management on Heroku. After a brief stint in project management, I joined my mentor and I jumped to the startup world and joined Tonking, a declarative, asynchronous, no-code enterprise automation platform as a solutions architect. So for the past 2.5 years, I've been learning about the biggest problems of the largest companies in the world and solving them with no code, something still thought of as a toy. And that's what brings me to Replit. Replit is the one place where I can combine both of these two worlds and actually make a difference. This is the part in the video where I wish I could tie it back to the Code@IU experience, but I can't. Truthfully, I didn't find Replit at the time. After researching a couple cloud IDEs, I couldn't find anything to fit my collaboration and pricing needs. And honestly, mentors in the professional space were encouraging traditional solutions, since that was the best practice. But a couple years later, I got into an argument with a Salesforce engineer about the future of dev tools, and that's when I stumbled upon Replit. It took me less than an hour to realize that Replit is going to change the way that me, the club, and my future kids are gonna code. To teach the club a hello world, I didn't just need Python. I needed a text editor, an SEM, hosting, APIs, if I truly wanted to instill best practices. Hey, that looks familiar. But with Replit, I can still do all of that while focusing on the code, the place where you see what you build, where you're only limited by your imagination. Where a 2013 Donald Glover told a 16-year-old me that if you learn to code, you can make your own world. And Replit is the only place I've seen give that spark at such scale, myself included. And I want every kid to feel that way. So why am I here? I want to help grow Replit. I've been working at a startup who's also working to achieve escape velocity, so I know the difference between praise and tweets and real paying customers. Achieving this must be done inside the Replit marketplace. I'm a firm believer in Replit's vision to turn itself into a total platform, where the primary value drivers are built by developers not employed at Replit. If I were a product manager at Replit, I'd constantly be thinking, how do we get our engineers out of the features and enhancements business and into the platform business? Using the existing cycles and two-sided marketplace levers, I have 3 product ideas for Replit that will help financially grow the company. Idea number 1, Replit CRON. As a Replit user, I want to easily run my REPL on a scheduled basis so I can get asynchronous value from my scripts. Around this 42-minute mark of Amjad's trajectory interview, he mentioned a typical way for Replit to break into the enterprise for finding those one narrow use cases, then it spreads internally. And I love this. This land and expand concept has been used by countless successful companies, and I think Replit CRON would be a huge value add to the enterprise. Do not underestimate the reliance companies have on scheduled scripts for bulk data manipulations, bulk actions, and testing. At Salesforce, Heroku Scheduler was by far the most used add-on. If you told me that I can edit, host, and schedule my code on a Replit for 2 cycles per run, it would be a no-brainer. I would love a little Replit icon on each REPL that allows me to find cron schedules, then run it on cycles. This mockup shows a simple configuration and how Ghostwriter can even help write the expression. Idea number 2, Replit self-hosting. As an IT department, I would like to host an instance of Replit on our own cloud so I can safely deploy Replit to my engineers. If Replit CRON was the land, self-hosting is the expand. As I alluded to earlier, no-code tools are also perceived as a toy, especially towards IT admins who love saying no to any product with security concerns. So, while no-code's core buyers are business teams, we must constantly consider how do we become loved by IT? Self-hosting is one way we did it. To mend the minds of gatekeepers, Replit can host its software on infrastructure that fits the needs of IT, like a dedicated GCP environment or one that's hosted on the customer's private Google Cloud. Not only will this help IT sleep well at night, it will also unlock a treasure of knowledge inside of a company. Imagine Replit Community, where engineers can ask company-specific questions, share secrets, and utilize internal APIs all on their intranet. And cycle credits can be purchased by each team, helping finance understand the cost of one team to the other. Self-hosting is no doubt a massive time and money investment, but I believe the reward will be even bigger. And idea number 3, the Replit IdeaExchange. As a Replit user, I want to share and vote on ideas to the Replit team and its community of developers for product ideas, so I feel like I'm contributing to the platform that is Replit. This was stolen directly from the Salesforce IdeaExchange. Salesforce, a profitable platform in its own right, has a Reddit-like site where power users can go to post ideas, chat with product managers, and upvote others. Salesforce publicizes winning ideas on their product roadmap and grants awards to its authors. The site also points to known issues boards and a service status page. Replit can do exactly this by aggregating the community and status.replit with an IdeaExchange. Finally, there will be a structured, gamified, and democratized place for users to go to help build Replit with us. And it will be a goldmine for product managers because it's not only giving us specific product ideas, but also aggregating ideas to build a better platform. For example, say a user has an idea to create a CSV table editor. Great. The Replit team could build that today. But what if the IdeaExchange also shows us people asking for a JSON editor, an XML editor, Excel, Avro, Parquet? Suddenly, all these largely related yet nuanced product ideas might suggest that our team should rather build a platform that lets our community build file type plugins for free or for a price. The Replit data team will also love the IdeaExchange, as it will allow them to see which types of users are requesting which type of ideas. If I were on the Replit team, I would spend nights scrolling through this site, and I would tie engagement with users into Twitch streams, Twitter spaces, IRL meetups, school events, and edited video content. Programmers can be rock stars too, and I want to build products in a community to actualize that talent. I'm not great at ending videos, but I'll keep it short. I know what Replit's solving today because I'm benefiting from it. I know where Replit's going, and I believe my unique background will help. I have a lot of ideas and even more questions, and I want to dedicate the rest of my life to this. I'll be keeping an eye out on your jobs page, but if you want to talk sooner, here's my email and here's my personal site, made on Replit. Thank you.